Burud community that they have this traditional skill of how to work with bamboo, right? Like,
Yeah, it's very interesting. I had no idea about Burud community before actually I started on ground research, and I asked people about the same question, that how did the community got engaged with bamboo as a sector. They said that from the beginning, when our community started, we have been associated
yes.
with bamboo. That is what our forefathers have done, which is quite interesting. As in, it's
But even the young ones are still associated with this skill?
that is a tricky one, right? As in, the thing is that it's a mix. What I'm seeing, some are still doing it, but some are not doing it because they are kind of getting a lot of challenges from other products. So, for example, Barud community is also known for making their bamboo baskets.
Right, right.
But what they tell me is that they've told me that now they face a lot of competition because of, say, plastic basket.
Yeah,
And you
definitely.
can't compete with something like a plastic with the basket.
Yeah.
So the younger generation is not seeing the value. But there are some very inspiring stories, and like a young 23, 24-year-old Burud community member I met in Kolhapur, who is an engineer, but now he's working on machines which can be used for better processing of bamboo, like how
Wow.
you cut it, how can you reduce the wastage. So yeah, there are these little inspiring stories here and there where young generation are still getting associated with it.
Right. So, where are the entrepreneurs in this whole bamboo ecosystem, especially these small or what sometimes we call nano entrepreneurs? For the benefit of viewers, let me just define what you mean by nano entrepreneurs. Nano entrepreneurs are generally those enterprises who have annual turnover around 2 to 3 million rupees. In India's official jargon, they are part of what we call a micro enterprises. Yeah. So, getting back to that, where are the entrepreneurs in this whole bamboo ecosystem? Like you
Yeah.
mentioned about the Burud community, which
Yeah.
I believe is like collection of small entrepreneurs. But what are the other steps? Like who does the final products that go to
So
consumers?
that was actually one of the ideas to understand who are the entrepreneurs. That's the important question. And which category of entrepreneurs officially they can fit in. Because micro entrepreneurs become like a very broad term.
Yeah.
Right. So it was very important for us to identify at which category first identify entrepreneurs and then which category they belong to. Other than the Barud community, and also if I have to say farmers, but they are also some kind of an entrepreneur.
Yes, yes,
We
yes.
can
But let's keep
yeah, we
farmers
let's keep
aside.
out,
Yeah.
but we can't discount them. But if I start, the next step is people who are also gathering the taking from the farmers, because there
Right.
is
The
a lot of
intermediaries.
because
Yeah.
they have to process it. So there is this one category which are also non-Barud. There are Barud who are majorly doing this, but also non-Barud who are involved in this kind of trade. Then the next one is people who are working in the furniture,
Right.
furniture slash construction, handicraft. That is one category, and falls under this nano entrepreneur
Right, right.
because it's not very big. It's a very small scale setup, usually looking at 5 to 10 people working.
Right.
The next one is, which I see, is in agarbatti making.
Right.
Because if you agarbatti is basically two components. One is the stick,
Right.
and the other is the masala, right? So bamboo has been traditionally being used in the agarbatti. So there is one set of entrepreneurs. I have a very interesting thing about agarbatti, but we can come to that later.
Sure.
Then agarbatti is one. Then there is also nursery, because you have to grow bamboo, right? As in, you can't, and there's a lot of science involved in kind of how you have to grow bamboo.
Right.
So there are also these designated nursery which have entrepreneurs who are supplying bamboo to the farmers.
Right.
So there is that category of people. Then there is another category which is looking at pallet manufacture. So pallet is basically the thing which can be used for burning.
Okay.
Right. So there is a new thing coming up with, because if you look at bamboo as a value chain, in the value chain, there is a lot of wastage.
Right.
But that's one of the main challenges, that in bamboo, about 50 to 60% of the product is wasted.
Okay.
So how you use it, how you can use this waste for other things, pallets is coming out as another
Right.
viable option. So there is a small but a growing group of entrepreneurs in Maharashtra. I've met about like good 10, 12 people who are working in this space. Has their own challenges, but is something which is addressing a very important problem, which is the reducing the waste in the value chain.
Right.
So that is one more category of entrepreneurs. But then there are entrepreneurs who are working on things which are little more highly advanced. So people like working in the fiber,
Right, right.
people who are working in the paper,
Right.
people who are also manufacturing diapers.
Right.
But they are little
I also
more-
read about toothbrushes, I think.
toothbrushes also, yes.
Right,
So
right.
Bamboo India, who's Ashwini, as in he's from Pune, as in he's quite become quite popular.
Right.
So he's also making toothbrushes and other bathroom related products, I think.
Correct. Yes. But what are the challenges these entrepreneurs are facing, or like, if anything, where we need to enable them more? What will be those areas?
So challenges are quite broad actually, but as I mentioned earlier, one of the biggest challenges as an industry is the wastage,
Right.
which kind of increases the cost.
Correct.
So to give you one perspective about the wastage part is that taking example of agarbatti. So if they make agarbatti in India, when they were making, there was about 40 to 45% of the whole thing was going to waste, which was increasing the cost. So
Right.
what they were telling me that it cost about 110, 114 per kg to actually make agarbatti sticks in India. And if you're importing that, it's coming around like 80, 90 rupees.
Oh.
So, so what the government did recently, actually, they have put 25% import duty on the
Right.
bamboo thing, which has kind of helped the agarbatti industry. So that is related to the wastage. The other thing that has come in the thing is, which is on the finance side, which is the support from the government specifically to Barud community, which is primarily in this, is still very limited, or it hasn't reached the right stakeholders.
Right.
So that is a one challenge which is quite.
But they have like formalization of their entrepreneurial activity.
It's still I would say mixed. There
Okay.
I get a sense that it's more informal than formal, but I met few formal setups also.
Right.
But when I walked around the Barud Gali, right,
Right.
in Kolhapur, and it gave me a sense that it's little more informal. So that kind of a thing is a challenge for
Right.
sure.
Right. Talking about the challenges these entrepreneurs are facing, particularly the financial challenges. So, what are they typically?
When we have spoken to these entrepreneurs, both Barud community and non-Barud community, the entrepreneurs who are there, especially the nano entrepreneurs, one thing came out clearly, that financial was a challenge. One reason which was coming out was that our banking sector is not actually quite aware of bamboo as an industry.
Right.
So when they go have conversations with both public sector and private sector bank, they have been not very supportive of the sector. So imagine for anyone who is going out, who is a small entrepreneur, needs a very basic or small grant or a loan from the bank, and the bank does not recognizes the industry, which is quite demotivating
Right.
and also challenging. So that is one financial challenge that they've seen. One thing that has come also with specific to Barud community is that there are one particular scheme which was started by the Maharashtra government to have given them subsidized rate for bamboo,
Right.
especially for the community. It hasn't reached the people I have spoken to. Might be not the case in other pockets or something. So there is some gap there
Right,
in the
right.
financial sense, where the right stakeholders are not getting supported. Other than that, there are other challenges which are also associated with the products which are coming in, which are cheaper. As I mentioned, plastic is a main problem.
Right.
There are also imports of coming in from countries
Correct.
like Vietnam, China, like bamboo shoots, we import a lot of bamboo shoots from Vietnam, Thailand,
Right.
which can easily be supported here and grown.
Correct.
So these are also some challenges which have been pointed out, but also challenges have been related to technology upgradation.
Correct.
Because you have to understand these are entrepreneurs who are based in rural areas. If you have to really scale it up, you have to have the right technology in place, the right kind of support from academia, industry.
But right technology exists globally if you look at that.
Yeah, that's what. As in, if you what I've seen, at least on paper, documents, videos, some countries have done it.
Right.
But some countries, what they have done is that they have picked up one particular or two, three particular subcategories within bamboo and excelled into that.
Right.
So everyone has kind of created their unique proposition. So for example, Vietnam has done very well in agarbatti.
Vietnam traditionally had such products, incense sticks or something.
They have a lot of incense in their temples and monasteries and all that. So they have done it really well. China has done really well in furniture and mats and all that. Thailand has done really well in shoots and all. So everyone has created their own categories of products within bamboo. And I think it's important that India also identifies one or two such categories which they can also cater to the domestic market but also to the global market.
Right. So we will come to this policy recommendations, but before that, a few other small points like are there any think tanks or advocacy efforts historically linked with bamboo, like something that you encountered?
Yeah, so the names are not coming but there are a lot of NGOs, organizations who have supported. Actually, Pune, where we are sitting, has been traditionally supportive of the bamboo sector in itself. Talking about starting from Gandhiji itself,
Right.
Who was very much towards supporting the rural economy. And his followers were actually taken the idea of that to support bamboo, which has taken to the villages. So it has been there slowly. People have done work, advocated about the potential. There are think tanks who have extensively written about it. And there are also government think tanks like Niti Aayog has done a lot of work, have released bamboo related policy documents and all those kind of things, informing the audience. There is also Pusa Institute which is the Agricultural Institute, which has done a lot of work. So there has been efforts.
In your work, you have been associated with few of the.
Yeah, so in my work, as in with the research, actually, I'm doing it with Giriraj sir, who is the founder for Maharashtra Bamboo Promotion Board,
Right.
Based out of Bombay, who has extensively worked in this and supported a lot of bamboo entrepreneurs in Maharashtra specifically.
Right.
It could be like small grants to attend capacity building workshop, or maybe supporting a small entrepreneur for buying a machine, supporting a small entrepreneur for a market linkage thing. So he has done those kind of work, and he also supported other organizations in that sense.
Correct.
So there are people, there is effort. There are scientists. One or two scientists I've met who have done extensive research, not only in Maharashtra but in Northeast India.
Right.
So there is work happening, but there is also a lot of challenges, which I mentioned.
Correct.
And we need to look into that to actually see if we can grow this industry.
Are these like new interventions like ONDC have started making some sort of impact anywhere, especially where the products are reaching to customers?
So that's a very interesting question because as part of my questionnaire, we have asked this question about not ONDC,
Right.
but this Flipkarts and Amazon.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would say 90% of them has said that we don't want to do it.
Don't want to do it. Why?
So there is one is a very one thing that is coming out there's a lack of trust.
Okay.
One, they say, which are people who are doing products like flute or speaker and all that. They say that if we put it, it will get copied and Amazon will start making money out of it and they will sideline it. That is one. There's also the problem of commission, as in the commission that
right.
Amazon takes, which is not viable for small entrepreneurs. Third is also the location, because you have to imagine the model it is that they have a warehouse, they have to have a certain number of products have to be kept in the warehouse. Warehouse might not be in the place where they are staying. How do they transport it? So they don't
So
have.
those who are selling this or artisans,
Yeah.
where are they located predominantly?
So, as in they're located in cities like Kolhapur, regions close by
Right.
to.
So it's an urban area.
It's semi-urban kind of an
Okay.
area, but the understanding to actually crack the Amazon Flipkart model, I think they don't have the training or awareness of how
Right.
they can actually do it.
But it can help them.
I think so. I
Right.
think so. It can give them that scale which might help to grow the business. But I think there is a sense of fear and uncertainty which kind of.
So someone needs
Yeah.
to work on that gap. Like
Yeah,
that.
someone needs to work on that gap to create that awareness. But I have also spoken to people who are like come back from US, are from Pune, are into bamboo construction and making beautiful bamboo furniture, and they have bluntly refused to actually come on such platforms. So, which is like a finding which is might be the case for ONDC also, where they are looking at supporting such entrepreneurs, but they might have to work on something which is very unique in the sense to create that trust to actually bring
Right,
them on
right.
that platform.
Okay. So is it like they fear that they will reveal the product and then someone might take it more at a scale?
Yeah, they will
So,
copy it quickly and they will scale it because that is there, right? As in, it happens.
I mean, as a competitive economy, we expect that will happen, but
Yeah.
for a single artisan, that might be a fear actually.
Yeah, but as in little digression from the point that, but the what we have seen that not taking names here with the platform, what they do, if they see one product is working, they kind of create that product under their banner and push it on the platform,
Right,
which
right.
kind of pushes the real entrepreneurs out and kind of only promotes their own
Right,
product
right,
under
right.
their banner. So I
Yes.
think that is there.
Yeah, they think
So-
the devil is in those details,
Yeah.
I think. Yes.
So that is a problem.
Right. So let's conclude with policy interventions and perhaps some of the positive changes that you have seen.
Yeah, so positive intervention has been one thing that has clearly come out, which I said earlier about the Forest Act got changed and there has been a positive impact. There are more people who are taking up bamboo farming,
Right.
Anything from 1 hectare to 70 hectare, as I said, which will definitely be positive for the sector.
The supply side, basic
Yeah.
issue that there is a less product, first of all, to
Product
work with.
was first of all, and also what was happening before that was that in Maharashtra specifically, a lot of bamboo was coming from like northeast.
Right.
So that might change,
Correct.
which definitely will support the local economy.
Right.
There are good small companies which are coming up working in the bamboo space. To name a few, like Bombay Bamboo India, which is based in Pune, working on bamboo brushes, became quite popular after the show, which was
Shark
Tank, right?
Yeah.
So after that, it kind of made bamboo toothbrushes really popular.
Right, right.
But then there's also a company called Beko, which is working on tissue paper and paper related stuff made out of bamboo. There is another Pune-based company which is making socks out of bamboo. So there are these small, as you said, green shoots,
Correct.
which are coming up, which will be definitely helpful. But I think there are there are other opportunities also. One thing is that, which is quite interesting, which we will look very deeply into our research, which would be more theoretical in the sense, is that we have thermal power plants across India. I think there are 4 or 5 in Maharashtra itself.
Right.
According to the Supreme Court ruling now, the thermal power plants have to use 5% of biomass fuel.
Right.
in that there is a huge potential where bamboo can be used.
Right.
Because if you, in the industry where there's a lot of wastage, you can use that wastage to actually sell it to these thermal power plants.
Right.
There has to be a calculation has to be done, because like thermal NTPC has given a rate of how much they can, at what rate they can buy it from.
Right.
So my hope is that as part of the study, I might be able to calculate that how much would it cost to a farmer or an entrepreneur who actually buys from the farmers and make these pellets and biomass products, and can eventually sell it to the thermal power plants, which
Right.
can scale up the whole industry, not only in Maharashtra, but I'm talking about all over India. So these are some policy interventions that are there, but I think the government is also working on the restructuring of National Bamboo Mission, on the basis of the learnings that they have taken from the new, like that was implemented in the last 5 years, to promote the right kind of species, which are more viable for the geographical location, because we have also seen that the bamboo species which are working in Northeast are not viable in Maharashtra.
Right.
So we have to find out the right species which might help the local industry. So I think these are the some policy interventions which can help. And on the other side, if we can work on supporting in scaling or reaching the international market,
Right.
which where we need government intervention to support such entrepreneurs to able to actually reach those market, send them to international trade shows, send them to international capacity building workshops, invite people from abroad who are traditional bamboo product buyers. Like Europe has a major market, Turkey has a major market, US
Right.
has a major market. So that kind of market linkage supported by the industry, I would say academia also, and also the government can actually support the growth.
Right, right. Thanks a lot, Nitij. This is really a fascinating discussion. I hope there are a lot of interesting points in the discussion, and we all wish that the green gold get its lure back as quickly as possible. So we will end here this episode, and we'll meet again in our next episode of ExCEED. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiran. It was a complete pleasure speaking to you, and also a lot of thoughts that have already come in my mind after the conversation. And yeah, looking forward to like having more such interactions.
Yes, yes. Thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit Seed website to know more about our work. See you in the next episode of our podcast, ExCEED.